Alright, welcome to a second season of the Hickory Hacker Course Vlogs. I'm kicking off 2021 with a round at Winnapaug Country Club in Westerly, Rhode Island. Winnapaug was designed in 1922 by Donald Ross, and for the most part, the routing and many of Ross's original design characteristics are still present on the course, which I'll point out over the course of the round. I'm using my primary hickory set for this round, which are 2 woods from Louisville Golf, 5 original irons, and a putter made by Tom Stewart. And for ball, I'm using a Wilson Zip, which I've applied a mesh pattern to with an antique mold, and I'll talk about that later. And here's the scorecard. I'm playing from the white tees today. So hole number 1 is a pretty short par 4 to kick things off, but there's some elevation on the approach, and that's what makes this hole a little trickier. Got under that a little bit, but first drive I'm usually just trying to put an easy swing on it to try to get into the rhythm of the round. Fortunately, there's a nice hill, so that drive rolled out and left me with about 145 yards here, uphill approach. Got pretty good contact on that shot, but I was on a slope, so being a little off balance, I got under the ball and ended up putting that about 25-30 yards short of the green. So again, using the mashie here, as I did on the previous shot. And this is where the rest of the winner really shows. My distance control on pitches and putts, as you'll see, was way off today. So I was doing a lot of hacking around the green, but I guess the upside is that this round was outside of the handicap season, so I wasn't really worried about score today for handicap purposes. So one thing I did quite a bit of during the off-season was some reading, and recently read Donald Ross's autobiography, Golf Has Never Failed Me, and it was pretty cool to see that several points of Ross's design philosophy were put into practice here at Winnapaug. Starting with his philosophy about starting holes. He thought the first couple holes on the course should be relatively easy to give the golfer a chance to warm up. And that's pretty much the case here at Winnapaug. You've got this short par 4 to start things off, and then number 2 is a par 5 that's pretty straightforward as well, and a good scoring opportunity if you keep the ball in the fairway. I ended up taking a bit of a shortcut here. I was pretty happy with the contact, but I ended up pulling this one through the trees on the left side, which left me with a blind second shot. I would have had a blind shot if I was in the fairway as well, but a little less distance. So gave me a chance to use a new club to my bag, which is this Tom Stewart 2-iron made for Otto Hackbarth. And the game plan here is just to pop this up over the hill and hope that I get it back into the fairway, which curves around the hill. And that's what I did. So that left me about 135 yards to use my mashie again. Good contact there, and you're going to notice the theme today. I really relied on the mashie because it was the one club that I was feeling pretty comfortable with in my bag. That came just short of the green here, so using the putter. And distance control, not too bad on that putt. This is my 3rd time playing here, so I'm still learning the greens, but generally they're pretty straightforward reads. I just wasn't picking them up very well today, and the greens were running a little shaggier, so not running as true as normal, but that's to be expected this time of year. So now we move on to number 3. It's a par 3 with an elevated tee, a valley, and then a bit of an elevated green from where you'll be on your approach if you miss the green. I was using the Tom Stewart 2-iron here again, and got under that one, so didn't get the full distance out of it and ended up coming up short of the green. So you see there, this is how the green's a little elevated. I used the mashie here to punch that up, but I just did not start that in the right spot on the green, so left me with a pretty lengthy putt here for par. And again, not too disappointed with distance control. It was the shorter putts, anything less than 4 feet, where I just wasn't reading the breaks properly, and it really added up on my scorecard. But this one was all right, so bogey to get off a 3, and now we get into number 4. This is really the only bit of water you have to worry about on the front 9. really only comes into play off the tee if you're a big hitter or with an errant shot on your approach. But there's a lot of room to the left side here, so I'm pretty much aiming where the trail starts leading toward the trees, the cart path rather. And I started that left of it, but it faded back nicely into the fairway, and I was real happy with that drive. So again, using the 2-iron here, about 165 yards out, mindful of that water on the right. And I had nice contact there, and a little bit of roll out toward the green that went toward the pond. Not too bad. So left me with this, which again, like the last hole, I used the mashie for a pitch, and put myself, with a good shot here at par, if I can drop, a 4-footer. And as you can see, I just did not read that very well. So, left me with another short one for bogey here. And this is where I noticed that I was starting to feel a little tentative with the putter on these putts. So I was taking a little more time, but that also made me a little more tense, which you'll see later on. And that one barely went in. So, moving on to number 5. This is my first favorite hole at Winnapaug. It's another really short par 4, but it's got a nice shoulder on the left side that'll feed your drive toward the middle of the fairway, and leaves you with a nice pitch. Donald Ross liked these kinds of short par 4s that gave a player some confidence if they hit the right spot in the fairway. And even though that started a little left off the tee, I hit the shoulder just how I wanted, and ended up feeding this right down into the middle of the fairway, which left me with an uphill approach. So I'm using the mashie. This is from about 125 yards, I would say. And I thought I had that pretty well, but I just didn't put enough onto it. And even though I couldn't tell from down there, I was still about 10 yards short of the green. So another little chip shot with the mashie, and that ended up putting me pretty close. Which I'm hoping by the summer these putts are a lot more automatic, but right now they're not. So another miss putt from probably 6 feet, leaving me with another short guy for bogey. Now you can see here as we go to number 6, par 3, very short par 3. This aerial shows a lot more trees on the left side that have now been removed, and I'm guessing that's probably more in accordance with the original design, but for right now it's looking a little ragged. So, and I ended up getting a pretty up close and personal look at tree removal on this hole with using the mashie niblick off the tee. Ended up pulling my tee shot off the green into some brush that I had to kind of maneuver around here. Not much I could do with that other than try to punch it out. And this green is a severe slope from back to front, so pretty much anything below the hole is going to feed back down to the bottom of the green. Or an errant putt like this one. I was trying to just keep that on top of above the hole there, so I wouldn't be flirting with trouble. But then short putts hurt me again here. And you can see how that just wants to keep rolling down the hill. Fortunately, the shaggy green here kept it up. And yep, just moving on. So number 7, my next favorite hole at Winnapaug. This starts out at an elevated tee, and you pretty much just want to go straight ahead here. I was getting more comfortable with the driver by this point, so felt like I could kind of let it rip a little bit more. And I was pretty happy with the contact there. I hit that pretty much straight, dead straight, just a little bit too far, and ended up going into the trees up there. So I found the ball, but it was unplayable, so I kicked it out. And now this is probably the coolest shot here at the course. It's a blind shot up to the green, which Ross generally did not like to do. He didn't like blind shots into the green because he thought it was unfair in match play to a degree. But using the mashie, and I'm aiming for the American flag up there, which is right behind the green. That's kind of your visual cue for where the green's at. You want to be careful because there are two bunkers on the left and right side of the greens that easily come into play if you deviate from the line with the flag. Fortunately, this one went past that, and again, using the mashie to chip this up, and again, pretty happy with my chipping with the mashie. Left me with a very makeable putt. Let's see what happens. Yeah, just burned the right edge of the cup, which was about as close as I was getting on those putts, unless it was shorter than 2 feet. Just a tough day with the putter today. That one just willed that one in. I mean, yeah, it's one of those things that I could be practicing every day. This is a cool feature on 7. Give the bell a ring for the guy below me there. So anyway, yeah, moving on to 8. Another par 4 that's pretty short, but there's out of bounds on the right, so you really need to be accurate with your tee shot here. The out of bounds encroaches pretty close to the fairway. Fortunately, I got a good rip on that one. Actually, a real nice draw on that, if I'm remembering right, and drew it right into the middle of the fairway, leaving me with about 130 yards using the mashie once again. Nice contact on that. Just put a little too much on it and ended up on the back of the green. But that sets me up with a birdie opportunity here. I tested a lot of different putters in the off-season, but still ended up sticking with my Stewart RTJ. I just get really good distance control with this putter. I just need to practice the short ones more, which is easy to do at home. Could this be my first birdie of 2021? No. But, again, real happy with the distance control. So, should be a real nice, easy tap in for par, right? Nope. I mean, that's just the day right there, and that's a stupid way to finish what was otherwise a really solid hole. But that was the theme of the day. So, I'm a little upset by this point. Moving to number 9, big par 5. I've already hit a tee shot that was solid, but into the trees on the left. So this is my third shot off the tee. Ended up hitting the club before the tee there and pushed that to the right into the trees. So making this hole even longer for myself. Now I'm using the Louisville 21 degree Jack White spoon. Fortunately, nice contact there even though I was off balance. And that put me back into play. So back to the old reliable mashie here from about 145 yards out. This is about as far as I'll try to hit this club. But I got great contact. Wish you could see the ball flight on this one because it was right at the pin. And wasn't sure how close it was till I got up to it, but my pitch mark was right on top of the cup. So that would have been nice way to close it, but it still left me with a very makeable putt here. I don't know what I was looking at, but there was no break from the left to the right there. So, it is what it is. Still having a great time, and appreciate you watching the front 9. Stay tuned for the back 9 here at Winnapaug, and please like and subscribe.